YouTube, friends, foes. It occurred to me this morning after waking up from a dream, a disturbing dream. Quite a number of my dreams are disturbing. I haven't been able to have those enlightening feeling or wonderful feeling dreams. You wake up and you had a rotten dream. It's like you're stuck somewhere, you can't get out of a situation, or you're in a circumstance that's really quite unnerving in some way. Sometimes we even call them nightmares. It wasn't quite a nightmare, but here's what occurred to me. And this is what I'm ruminating on, I'm thinking about, and the fact that in my last video I talked about facts don't appear to matter really to people. Don't appear to matter. And there's a reason behind that. And I think my reflections after having had this disturbing dream, my conclusion, or something that I'm inclined to see more clearly now, is that dreams are indicators that suggest to me the way I feel about what is reality, and a reality where facts don't matter. I suppose unless it's happening to me, it doesn't matter. The idea of Fukushima is that, well, it's not happening to me, it's not happening, right? Anything that's going on, mayhem, destruction somewhere else, on the somewhere in the world, the wars that are going on, people are being decimated, punished, brutalized, whichever way this is unfolding. If it's not happening to me, it's not happening. This is why I think facts don't matter. But my point, my idea, my thought today was that the fact that we dream, first of all, why do we sleep in the first place? Nobody really knows. This is not explained either. The white coats haven't really determined why it is we sleep. Well, there seems to be good reason to sleep. I think it's a regenerative thing on some level. Your heart rate goes down, your organs relax. This is something maybe we should do anyway. We should go on fasts to take the pressure off the organs of functioning all the time and digesting all that sirloin steak and the potatoes and then the apple pie with the ice cream after. Ooh, and especially you should eat it at 9 at night, and it's going to be like, oh my God, the sleeping doesn't even help because you're digesting for the next 12 hours. It makes sense to sleep from the point of view that there is a resting of the organs, yeah. But the explanation isn't really definitive on sleep itself. Apparently Tesla, a brilliant mind, didn't sleep very much, 2-3 hours in a day, and he had naps for 20 minutes. These electric types like Edison as well. So my thought today was, what is it about dreaming that allows me to have an understanding of the existence that I'm involved in? What is it? And existence is, I would say that existence is an aspect of our awareness, our consciousness, that possibly extends into the inexplicable. What I say quite often, I refer to eternity, that existence is in some way possibly part of eternity. And what is it that dreams indicate to me when I woke up this morning? And that is, it's a form of revelation. And not from the point of view of Jung or Freud or these charlatans of brilliance that give us a path to categorize and to catalog everything. For me, a dream literally is, in this existence, reality. It presents apparently symbols. Things happen in dreams that can't apparently work in real life, like flying. I have been known to fly in my dreams, literally. And I've talked to friends who fly constantly in their dreams. And Freud says, yeah, that's some sort of latent sexual desire. Everything is a sexual desire, obviously, as long as you have some sort of heart pumping and a hormone left in your body, everything is a sexual desire. So the idea of a collective unconscious the Jung idea of archetypes, all that hooey. It really doesn't make sense to me. Honestly, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't resonate. And as a painter, I create waking dreams in a sense. Like if you see something behind me, these are representations of me being awake, but in a way dreaming. And what's that about? Why would I be interested to create symbols that artificially simulate a state that I'm in when I'm asleep? I was thinking about this. And the conclusion I came to this morning when I was noodling on this, I was sitting and I was having a conversation and having my coffee and just sort of relaxing into this feeling of having woken up from a dream that was disturbing to some extent. And I thought to myself, well, when we are asleep, we really don't know what that means. We don't have an understanding of that. What happens? There's scientific explorations and science studies, but nobody really knows. Nobody knows. And don't come to me and say, yes, it's been proven to be this or that, and the rapid eye movement, and the scientists have hooked you up. They have external machines that indicate certain activities in our body, but what does it mean to be in a dream state? And the only people that I really respect and trust, the good ones, are artists and possibly some fakirs or swamis or gurus that apparently have established themselves in this reality with some kind of a sense or context. They create a context for the inexplicable, the mystery. Anyway, my conclusion was, I'll say what my conclusion was, that the dream state is in fact a state that indicates to all of us, equally, all of us, we all dream. Apparently everybody dreams. Even if you don't remember, you dream. That the world that we wake up to is not what it appears to be, number one, because we of course feel that the dream symbols like flying over the waters, all these kind of imageries, these are symbols that are extracted from what we experience as the real world, but it's not the real world. Like the stuff that I'm thinking about, how we are duped into accepting an existence that is the information or the facts as they are presented to us come through a filter, whether it's religion or science or other forms, other filters, culture, civilization, all these filters that actually digest. They give us this what is that called when you chew on something and you masticate? These institutions or these established pillars of truth masticate for us something that we destroy in a dream. And the dream tells us, this is my conclusion, the dream tells me that the world I exist in a waking state with my eyes open, is not what it appears to be. And this is why we dream, to remind us so that we don't lose touch entirely from something that is very crucial in this becoming of who we are. And the nature of our reality, as so many people have questioned throughout history, when you look at philosophers, you look at Plato, you look at the example of the shadows on the cave walls, Plato's cave. I really love Socrates. The Symposium is wonderful. I find myself attracted to a perception of the world that invokes symbols that suggest the world is not what it appears to be. So you have, in recent history, you have the surrealists. You have people that are keenly aware of the idea of a dream state in the real world. So they create images or paintings that suggest extraordinary events occurring, like Dali or Max Ernst, who produced images that suggested pushing a boundary of our acceptance of what is real. And I think this is so important. I've decided, I thought about this and it hit me. It's like at certain times stuff hits me. And I said, why am I dreaming? I don't even know where the hell it comes from, but why am I dreaming in the first place? And I think it's a tool that we still have available to us to give us a chance to to separate this subterfuge, this stuff that is creating around us a dysfunction. And you may very well say, well, if this existence is a test, for example, for a lack of a better word, are we going to get through this in a way? Why are we being put through this? Who is putting us through this? All these questions, I mean, they're not answerable, but I'm just saying that we need to get a hold of ourselves in terms of what are fundamental functions. And dreaming is such an integral part of our existence. And why dismiss it as, oh yeah, I'm out of touch for 8 hours and shit goes on and where? In my brain and somewhere in me. Some people even say they leave their bodies and all that kind of stuff. Why would we discard 1/3 of our existence on this earth and just sort of pass it off and hand it over to people like Jung or Freud or Foucault, people that try to manipulate our perception of what it is we have no understanding about, in essence. So my only suggestion, my idea is I turn it into, in my waking state, I try to extend my dream state into the waking state because it's possibly something that informs me or is even more real than what we perceive to be real. So how do we get out of this dysfunction? How do we get out of this shitter? I'm not saying that the facts, ma'am, are not real, that there is a substantive nature to our existence as we perceive it in a waking state. But without recognizing that this, on some level, is not, this is difficult to say, but I'm going to say it. It's not as real as our dream state, because the dream state connects us to some part of us that actually understands what is being manipulated. And this is why symbols are so important, why corporations, why people that succeed use manipulation. Bernays, who was the basic instructor for Goebbels, who convinced an entire nation of abdicating their responsibility to their conscience. They knew it was wrong what they were doing, but if you manipulate the symbols and create fabulous, extravagant spectacle, you can attract people away from their dream. And why do we call it dream? Do you have a dream? Do you have a dream? Do I have a dream? Why do we call it a dream? You see, the most important part of our life is referred to, do you have a dream? Can you succeed? Well, a dream is just like peripheral add-on shit outside of when you're awake. So you see, I was thinking about different people that I listen to on YouTube that actually are attempting to articulate or expose, like Mr. Cat Eye, the rituals that are being practiced. They're almost dream states that we are in when we have a 9/11 event. This obviously occurred, people died, but the event, the symbolic aspect of it is that it's a ritual, which I really appreciate Mr. Cat Eye talking, analyzing the numerical explanations behind these ritualized events that suggest we are living a symbol and the dream is real. So how does this translate into my day-to-day life? How do I incorporate this? Well, as a human being, as a painter, that's what I do. I extend my dream state into the work that I do that you see in my videos. So what I think is really important, okay, this is my suggestion, that whatever level of extending that dream state into the real world in our day-to-day lives, as we are able to accomplish that, the more we peripheralize being influenced by people that are intent to manipulate and control this awareness. And it happens on many different levels. Like I said, you can have it through governments or science or religion, all these institutions of mayhem. These are institutions of mayhem that remove this innate understanding that we have. So the dream the dream confirms and verifies that this world is not what it appears to be. Quite on the contrary, for people to try and analyze it and give it some kind of scientific, lock it into place scientifically with some explanation, does us a disservice. I'm entertained by Carl Jung. I'm entertained by his notion of the archetypes. There are many things that I gain and that I can use in my life, but in principle, I don't attach myself to any kind of practical, logical explanation, because the world we live in appears to be all based on this kind of factual logic, substantive thing that seems to make no difference whatsoever to anybody. Look at this plant. This Fukushima plant blew up over 7 years ago. It's spewing out deadly toxins. It will eventually catch up. It'll catch up. So I haven't really understood the connection entirely between this dream state and what is understood to be the real world. But what it does suggest is that this world is not what it appears to be, proven by our dream state. Just a thought today. I'll continue this idea.